If you're running a business, you know this. Your team can make or break you. But are you actually investing in them the right way?
People don't leave companies, they leave leaders. If your employees don't feel valued, they won't stick around. But when you build a culture of loyalty, everything changes.
Today, we're breaking down real strategies to build a strong team, boost performance, and create a business people want to be part of.
This is Blue Collar Millionaire. Let's get to it.
America's backbone was built on blue-collar business grit, grind, and muscle. This is where you stop working for the business, and the business starts working for you.
Chris, people are the most valuable asset. Let's talk about how to retain them, how to talk to them, how to figure out we can't read their minds. What do people want, and how do you help them be successful in your company?
Well, I love how you opened it up. People are the most valuable asset. You don't have a business if you don't have people, in my opinion. I don't know of a business that's 100% fully automated digital on the team side and doesn't have one person that's kind of managing systems. So I have learned that people cannot read other people's minds. And that's kind of a funny statement, but the reality is we walk through life thinking that people know what we're thinking. And until you verbalize it and you start to communicate that, they don't really know. So as you're moving through your day-to-day, you should acknowledge the fact that people are doing their job. They don't have to be going above and beyond. Just when they're doing standard, acknowledge it and thank them for it, because that little bit of recognition will let them know that you notice and you care, and it creates a culture that breeds loyalty. Your people will start to feel loyal to you because they realize that you do notice their efforts and their contribution to the business. If I have a customer that tells me that my team killed it on something, I make sure I acknowledge that in our team meetings in front of everybody. That's one way to give recognition. And I notice every time that I give that recognition, the level of service and output increases every single time. I had one guy that told me, he said, money's great, Chris. He's like, but as long as I'm getting my expenses paid and, I'm able to kind of live the lifestyle that I want to live, which is a moderate lifestyle. He said, it means more to me what you did the other day when you acknowledged that I was a resource in this company. And that's when it kind of hit me. That was about 3-4 years ago. And I'd had a business coach tell me that as well. It was like, you need to be recognizing your people for just hitting the minimum standard. It doesn't have to mean they went above. When they do go above, definitely recognize it. And I was like, dang, I don't even know. This is back, several years ago, but I was like, I don't even know when I'm going to recognize them. Like, I feel like they're constantly screwing up. And she said, well, if you'll reward the good, you'll start training a culture and they'll realize this is what gets your attention is the good. Right now, you're teaching them that what gets your attention is the negative. So the negative, sometimes subconsciously people respond at below a benchmark, below a level of expectation because they want recognition. And if all you ever do is recognize the negative side, then you're teaching them to give more negative for the recognition. And I was like, well, dang, that's kind of warped and jacked up. But I understood what she was saying. And so I started doing that, and I started just recognizing them for doing their job. Over a period of about 12 to 16 months, my entire culture changed.
I'd say a mistake I made early on, and it's a big one. There was key people that I didn't feel like this, but so many of my employees, I felt they were interchangeable. I almost liked that in my mind because I felt like they don't have power over what I'm doing in my
And
company.
hold you hostage.
I like to be able almost just like McDonald's French fries, like, oh, you don't make fries anymore? I'll just put somebody
Right.
else in there, right? And that's good to build systems like that. But if I look at you, because I know stuff about your companies, and I said, I'm going to remove 6 people from Chris's life right now. 2 at Absolute, key person over at the powder coating, maybe me from Blue Collar Millionaire. It would wreak havoc on all, and then I'll take Matt and Mike out of the windshield thing. So the truth is you can never get to where you are without these people.
That's right.
So recognize it. And I started taking a step back, man, maybe 12 or 15 years ago. I started changing the culture, and I started looking at everything and said, I want these people to grow with me. Let me learn what they want. It's not what I want. And I started sizing people up, and certain people were like me. They just want, how do I make more money? But they took pride in their work. And other people, it wasn't about money. It was about recognition. I take my time and I make sure every month I'm having that. It could be 5 minutes with certain person because they're like that, or certain person might be 20 minutes. I give them the time to help them feel comfortable and see where they're at. Are you happy? Are you happy outside of work? What can I do to make your life easier? And they really appreciate that. And when you do that, you build deeper relationships. You can build a team. And I just wasn't doing that early on. I have to do it now. I want to do it.
There's a Gallup study, and I'll butcher the study, but I believe it was 12. They took 12 employees, and I think it was 2 out of the 12 were willing to go job search and find another job if they had a best friend at work. There was like
Yeah.
6 or 8. It was like a really lot. I think it was closer to the 8 number. There was like 8 of the employees said that they were willing to go find another job because they didn't have someone they connected with and had a relationship at work, like a friend, someone that they would, hem haw with. And I thought that was super important. And I've also heard the statement that people don't leave companies, they leave leaders, they leave people. So if someone decided that they didn't want to work at my company anymore, they're not leaving the company. They're leaving my leadership staff. They're leaving me and their managers because they didn't feel appreciated. They didn't have a connection. And so they're going searching. They didn't have fulfillment. I never really have a fear of people leaving my culture at this point because I know that they trust me. They know that I've got their best interest in place. I try to put things in like performance pay to make sure that they're not capped out and they don't have a ceiling in earning revenue potential.
Mhm.
And all of these little strategies and techniques inside of your business build these cultures because, again, a business is people and people will make or break you. And if you don't get the people portion right, you will burn out in trying to run a business because that is your biggest asset and it can also be your biggest headache.
It's super important to just meet people where they are and make them feel comfortable. Well, you worked for CarMax, but I never worked big corporations. You have friends, my sister. I hear about how people kind of do people dirty.
Hmm.
Like somebody in their family gets sick or their mom gets sick, and the company, they initially
Hmm.
are supportive, but then it's like, man, they start thinking of metrics and they
Right.
essentially want to get rid of you or demote you or move somebody up. This is an opportunity to be human and do it within your own company.
Yeah.
We're all small enough. Even if you had 100 employees, you could do it, but certainly at 20 is to help these people in their life and be that part of it. I had somebody who's working virtually for me. She wasn't working that long now. She's doing an excellent job. Her father got sick. They were short on some money. She reached out to another team
Hmm.
member. They told me, and I was like, at first, you're initially like, I don't want to get involved in
Hmm.
this and everything. Then I just said, why not?
Right.
She's doing everything. So I did that. And unfortunately, he died. And then, there were just some issues with just the burying and everything. I said,
Yeah.
I'm just going to do this. And then she was very like, well, I'll pay you back. You take it out and pay. I said, listen, for 60 days, don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a couple months.
Yeah.
Like, I want her to just
Get through the moment.
deal with your dad, go back to work, get comfortable, get
Yep.
busy again, because that helps on the thing. And don't worry about this right now. Like, I could easily have just said no, but it's an opportunity to really build deep relationships. That person is likely to come back, recuperate, and then help you. Because we are really leveraging other people's time and skill set
Absolutely.
because they either don't want to do that, they don't see it, or they don't want to take the risk. So it's like build that team up to do it. And you have to ask questions to know if they're happy because you don't know. That's what happened. Not that she wasn't happy, but she didn't know if we were happy
Right.
just this week. That
Th-
surprised you.
That's why I said, people don't read other people's minds. We got to communicate.
Yeah.
And if you don't let them know, how are they supposed to know you like it or not? And so communicate what you like, communicate what you don't like. And that way people know that they're responding in life the way that you want them to respond. The other thing about your people is I believe in kind of like a life 360, I think is how I've heard it told. I try to make sure that I'm teaching my people about financial literacy, teaching them about self development. I want them to read books. I want them to listen to podcasts. I want them to understand their money and the language of money because if they can increase and better themselves financially, professionally, relationally, then my customer is going to benefit and my brand is going to be acknowledged as the superior brand in the market because my customers are going to refer me. And when they start referring me, I have to spend less on ad spend because I have so much influx of new customers because they're telling their friends and family.
I love that. Be a leader not only in your company, be a leader in other things that can help them. One thing I was doing was I was teaching guys how to buy homes.
Yeah.
Like
American dream. That would be huge.
if you're on your third or fourth home and you're 38 years old, whatever it is,
Yeah.
you already know how to do it. And you got a 22-year-old, they don't know how to do that.
Right.
Maybe they have parents who taught them, maybe they read books, maybe they have no idea how to do it. So I would start doing it and people were listening. And then I was like, let me just do it over my house one time. If you want to come, and like I have people come. I
Yeah.
would tell them, like, you can do this. This is how to do it. I was telling about house hacking, buy
Mhm.
4 units. They're sitting there like this. Some of the guys did it, other guys didn't. But
Right.
then if you don't have good credit, I was telling you how to do this. That was super valuable to them.
Huge.
I mean, somebody gonna take the time to do that. But to me, it wasn't like, hey, how do I do this so they do something for me? I was just like,
Oh.
hey, I have this skill set. I know how to do this. I like talking about it. And come on over. We'll get some pizza. We'll have something. And I'll show you how to do this. It's not a pizza party. I'm gonna help you.
Right.
You know?
You gonna
If you don't want to come, don't come. I don't care.
let's learn some real shit in this.
Yeah.
At this pizza party. Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. We're back again next week. BlueCollarMillionaire.net. If you want to find some more of the resources, we got the free community, we got the podcast, we've got the dinners that we do in cities all over the US. We've got our live masterminds at great resorts, and then we've got our private mastermind where we're meeting weekly with other entrepreneurs. If you need help just scaling your business and you need some tips and tricks, we talk about it from marketing to operations to finance every single week in Boardroom Elite. Appreciate y'all tuning in.